Whether you're a brand new or long-time owner of a Volkswagen Westfalia camper, you probably already know all about the refrigerator. If you understand how the refrigerator is supposed to be used, you'll have a great trip every time. This amazing little unit can run on 3 different kinds of energy: 12 volts, 110 or 220 depending upon where you live, and on propane gas. The key is to use all 3 energy sources on your trip from home to your destination, while you're camping, and on your way home. You may be wondering, all 3? Keep watching and I'll explain everything to you. First of all, the day before you leave, gather all the food together that you're going to want to keep cold and will fit inside the Westy refrigerator like a jigsaw puzzle. Now put all this food in your refrigerator at home, not in the camper. Remember, you need to do this the day before you leave. As you know, the refrigerator in the camper is very small, so you may only be able to put a couple of cans inside the refrigerator, not the whole 6-pack. Later, as space becomes available, you can add more. So there's a priority for meats and fresh vegetables. Everything else travels second class. Use an extension cord to connect your camper to the AC power from the wall. Then go inside the camper, open the refrigerator, and make sure it's set for AC. Don't put anything in the refrigerator, leave it empty, and just close the door. The whole idea is that the next morning it's going to be nice and cold and frosty. Load everything into the camper except what goes in the refrigerator. This includes sleeping bags and chairs, non-refrigerated food, you know what I mean. So now it's the next day and you're getting ready to go. First of all, make sure you've loaded 100% of everything you're going to load, except what goes in the refrigerator. Disconnect the van from the extension cord, open up the door of the refrigerator and switch it from AC to 12 volts. Now you can move the food from your home refrigerator into the pre-cooled Westy refrigerator and close the door. And remember, the 12 volt option only works when the engine's running, so now would be a good time to leave. So between your home and your destination, the refrigerator is running on 12 volts the whole time. If you're living large at one of those campgrounds with electrical hookups, just switch from 12 volts to 110 or 220 AC and you're done. After a few days, you may want to back off on the cooling a little bit or add a few warm items to the refrigerator to lower the temperature so nothing gets damaged by being too cold. Nobody likes frozen tomatoes. Suppose you're dry camping, boondocking with no electrical hookups. After you're parked, go outside and open the gas valve on the propane tank by turning it to the left or counterclockwise. Next, go inside and turn the stove on for a few seconds just to make sure the gas is flowing and turn it off. Now switch from 12 volts to the gas position and turn the thermostat to full cold. With your thumb on the safety button, pump and light the refrigerator. At this point, you want to wait a minute and monitor all the indicators to make sure that the refrigerator's flame stays lit. As I mentioned earlier, after a few days you may want to raise the temperature a little bit or add a few warm items to avoid freezer burning sensitive fruits and vegetables. Depending on the outside temperature, with a full tank of propane, the refrigerator can run from 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, you've had a great time camping, but now it's time to go back home. If you've been boondocking or dry camping, make sure you're 100% loaded up and ready to go before you switch from gas to 12 volts for the ride home. Go outside and turn the valve to the right or clockwise to shut the gas off completely. If you've been luxuriating at a campground with hookups, make sure that you're 100% loaded and ready to go before you disconnect and switch to 12 volts for the ride home. So getting the most out of your Westfalia refrigerator is really sort of a process. It's getting a refrigerator cold and having all the elements cold before you put them in the refrigerator, and then switching immediately to 12 volts while you're on the road, and then switching either to gas or electricity depending on what you've got when you arrive where you're going to stay. So on your next trip, remember to use all 3 power options and your refrigerator is going to run 24/7. Meanwhile, have a great time camping in your Westie. Thanks.